We are going to study the next topic. It's about Unit 2, Topic 1. What is informative writing? Let's have the following objectives. First, discuss what informative writing is. Second, state some points to remember when writing informative text. And the last, enumerate helpful hints to get started in fact-based, pithy, and powerful informative text. Let's begin. What is informative writing? An informative writing educates reader on a certain topic. It can have one of several functions: to define a term, compare and contrast something, analyze data, or provide a how-to. They do not, however, present an opinion or try to persuade your reader. There are some points to remember. If you're writing an informative essay, you need to make sure that you're using the right techniques. Otherwise, your piece could wind up without any substance. Or worse yet, in the bottom of the circular file. Another thing, too often so-called informative essays are actually flowery, doctored up orations. Though they may cite one or two facts, they leave the reader without any more knowledge of the top area than when he or she began reading the piece. Another point, if you truly want to inform your audience, you need to follow some simple guidelines that will ensure that your words are memorable, informative, and concise. There are 7 helpful hints to get you started on an essay that is fact-based, pithy, and powerful, informative. What's the point? That's number 1. Before you ever begin your informative essay, create a thesis statement. In more basic terms, this means you must have a point. By formulating a hypothesis and using that as the basis of your essay, your work won't meander like a snaking stream. Instead, it will stay on point from beginning to end. 2. Ditch the flowery prose. Flowery language can be effective in the right forum. However, overly embellished sentences do not belong in your informative essay. Keep your verbiage simple and straightforward, or your reader will pay too much attention to your overuse of adjectives and adverbs. 3. Put your feelings aside. You probably have an opinion about what you're writing, but unless your essay is meant to be read as a personal syndicated column, leave your feelings at the door instead of editorializing. Tell the facts like a good journalist. If you do, your readers will be able to draw their own conclusion instead of having yours foisted upon them. Get your facts straight. An informative essay needs to have supporting data to give it clarity and authority. However, that doesn't mean you can rely on any statistics you find online. Unfortunately, the World Wide Web is filled with facts that are actually only half-truths or even outright lies. Make sure the ones you choose for your work are from reliable sources, such as well-known companies or government agencies. Go to the sources. If you need to interview individuals to add power or legitimacy to your informative essay, make sure you choose your interviewees carefully. Avoid the temptation to allow just anyone to use your essay as a mouthpiece. Judiciously pick who you want to quote. Then make sure that your quotes are accurate. Active voice, strong essay. Present your information in a strong tone, using active words in powerful adjectives that pop off the page, not simply dribble down onto the reader's lap. For instance, replace words like good or bad with much more expressive counterparts. Remember, though your goal isn't to be poetic, it's to add proper emphasis to your thesis and supporting information. And the last, write about what interests you. If you don't like the topic of your informative essay, no one else will either. Of course, we cannot always choose what to write about unless we're very lucky authors indeed. Therefore, you owe it to yourself and your readers to find an element of your essay that intrigues you, even if you have to manufacture enthusiasm for your work. That's okay. Just never allow your audience to hear your disinterest, or they'll surely follow suit. So these are just tips on how you could be able to write effective informative essays. So I hope that you go through, read it again and again from the beginning to end for your further understanding.